love my family and to be there for them. I have a choice every day to make the world a better place. And then it just hit me, oh my God, these are the stories that I have wanted to share for so long. And here I am going through my small, very minuscule problems. And here's this guy who is about to die teaching me how to live. And then it was that weekend that I said to myself, I'm going to start the Live Again Project. And really it's a place for cancer stories. Anyone has a cancer story, whether you're a patient, a caregiver, or you just know of somebody with cancer. Everybody has a story, and I've got a couple more stories to share, but these stories have changed my life, and I believe that through these stories, I mean, you could unite the world. People could love more. We'll get into it more.
Yes, and we got plenty of time. We got plenty of time to talk about it, but the power of influence is what it seems like you're preaching to me right here, man. And it's pretty crazy because you've seen all of these people's stories, you know, from a personal point of view, being with them throughout their entire journey and not being able to share that with the world. And now that you brought the Live Again Project, you know, I've seen some of the stories you have on your website, and it's really cool. It's very touching. Like, tears came to my eyes when I was going through some of the videos. Like, for example, Kathy, her ASL story. I was just like, I just recently lost my friend this past year. So, you know, it really did hit me in the head. It was a nice reality check to say, don't wait for my funeral. The way she said that. I was like, you know what? Don't wait. You know, I got to see my friends. I got to see my family. I don't know if tomorrow is promised, you know? And it's just like, you don't have these type of reminders for you in the world every day now, you know? So it's really touching to see that. And it's cool that you are bringing this up to surface.
Thanks. I mean, Kathy, she has ALS and she has gastric cancer, but she, like many patients that I've talked to over the years, she had said ALS was the best thing that's ever happened to her. It's probably one of the worst diseases ever because your body loses the mobility to function and move. You can't breathe, so it's terrible. But what she had said was what she had gained from it was her closer connection with her friends that would have never happened if she has got that disease. All the people that she's met, all the extra support, and what she's able to do. I mean, right now she's touring around the country still telling her story. That is powerful.
With such limitations that she has.
Yeah, exactly. And she just reminds us that, you know, whatever you're going through in life, you think it might be so big, but honestly, put things into perspective and be the person you were meant to be on this earth. And I believe everybody's got a really, you know, strong and powerful purpose. This one's mine.
Well, good for you. I'm glad that you're finding your purpose. Me as well. I think Prabhat and Alexia right here, we all trying to fulfill that purpose ourselves for our lives. But it is really touching to see that we can bring about, you know, people's purposes. Like, I feel like with such a negative with cancer, man, it's just so negative, man. And I feel like nowadays many people are going through this. Like, it's so common. Everybody at least has that one person in their family that went through cancer, you know, maybe did not survive either. So we all can relate.
Oh yeah, Bruce, you know, he was one of the first patients that shared an interview with us. He was, you know, kind of putting an analogy of how cancer is a common enemy to everybody, and you know, the common enemy is your friend. And this brings me to a story that one of my cancer patients told me, where there was a Palestinian and Israeli patient both having cancer and about to start chemotherapy at the same time. They were enemies. And my patient had told me, when you walked in that room, all you felt was hate and anger. I mean, to put a long story short, after a couple months sharing chemotherapy together and talking together, one of them passed away from cancer and the other one gave the eulogy.
Wow.
I mean, that's a powerful story. I mean, that's stepping into, you know, a place where you think you may be hated, but this is what cancer is able to do. Because if you look at death, you start to peel back. What are the things I was programmed to in life? I mean, do I really hate this person? Is that group really the enemy? Am I really going to make, you know, am I really going to be mad at that guy who just cut me off on the street? All these things. Are those things real? I mean, let's take a step back.
You're peeling back to your human core.
Exactly.
All of these, you
the
know.
humanity.
Yes,
that's what I think these stories, I think these stories will bring out the humanity in people.
Yeah, we've lost that touch, most definitely.
Yeah.
We have such a, I mean, all these different stereotypes that are posed on us. You know, our society just has an image that we need to abide by and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's hard, you know. It's really hard with all these confounding factors in the world. But it's inspiring when you see stories like this, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never been able to hear stories like this. You see this every day on a different scale, and like, whoa, I condone you, man, because I'm sure that is a lot to carry on your shoulders, you know, especially with many people that you see pass away.
Yeah, it's certainly very tough, and for some, particularly my uncle who just passed away not too long ago. I mean, I'm a physician, and we didn't have a very good relationship. In fact, we sort of kind of hated each other, you know, growing up. 2 days before his death, I went to him, and he just looked at me, and he says, "Ken, what do I do?" And I said, "Hey, well, hang on, and we could try this and this." And he spent time from diagnosis till his death fighting it and being angry and not wanting to live. And those 2 days after we met, he really tried to live again. And I was thinking, oh my God, I could have stepped in so much sooner, but I did nothing. So that's why I take 100% responsibility for him not being able to live fuller. And I start to take responsibility for the little things that are happening in life. And when the world has hate, I'm going to take on that responsibility right now to make sure that the world is less hateful.
We need more people like you, Ken. Honestly.
Well, I wasn't like me until probably 6 weeks ago. I mean, I'm 2017. This is a Ken who you guys haven't seen, you know?
Well, we're living again, 2017, making it happen, you know? So, how did this all get started? You know, obviously 2017 was a little push inspiration for you, but, you know, other than that story that you mentioned about the pancreatic cancer.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's so strange because I can get into some details that aren't so important, but once I said, hey, I'm going to put this into action, things just started happening. I just bumped into Prabhath maybe a couple of days afterwards. We meet in this gallery where he's trying to really be the voice of small people like me trying to be a voice. And things started happening. The website started going up. We started to have, you know, our logos up. We're starting to do interviews. And the universe just seems to align, saying, you know what, this is your purpose. So, and these things are going to happen. In fact, if I think of it now, the universe or God was probably trying to tell me something long ago. You just don't listen. And when you finally do, things just happen. So really, it was just me taking an inspiration and letting it ride. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never been on a radio show before. I've never done interviews before or anything like that. But it's happening, you know?
And Amanda said you'll never be on radio again. No. But you know what I'd say, Amanda, which is amazing?
I love it.
Is
I was told I have a great face for radio.
You know, I always say he has a face for radio and a voice for silent film.
Hey, you know what they say? You got the face for radio.
Voice for radio and voice for silent film. This guy. But I think what's amazing about his journey, and you know, when we saw you last, Amanda, we talked about Victory, is you see these people that have highly successful lives. Right? Victory was doing his thing with music. Dr. Vu over here is doing his thing as a doctor. But then there's this moment where it's like, I want more.
I need
and
more.
It's not I want more like I want to supersize my house and I need to do this. It's like, no, I want purpose. And then when you see those people with purpose, they are like a fast speed train. They're a bulldozer. And you just want to like jump on the ride or get out of the way because you get run over. And you see with Ken, I mean, he's so excited. And I think his thing is he has a vision for what it's going to be, but he's open to knowing, man, it could be any, you know, where it started. Like, I remember when we talked about this a couple of months ago, it was really telling the stories of cancer patients and their family members. Well, now what we started talking about recently, which I love this new aspect that's added to Live Again Project, it's what would the legacy have been for the person who's passed away? So you're looking at that person's life and saying, if they would have lived till 80, what would they have accomplished? Who would they have been? And so now people are telling stories of what they think that person would have done. And I know Ken's coming up with a new project now where, you know, if those people are tied to nonprofits, you know, do a whole voting system, and then his organization wants to help, you know, put money into helping the causes that these people would have been able to help if they would have survived. So it's really just thinking, how do you really take the the life of somebody and then let them live again. I think that's why.
Honestly, I really believe that once you peel back to your humanity and purpose, we are all connected.
Heck yeah.
And that way, we all just kind of live together. You know, so I really want to be able to use this project as a platform to bring that out some more.
To connect everybody as one, and that's exactly what we need right now, man. 2017, we'd be hurting. 2017, let's bring it in right. Live Again Project, 935 KDAY Community Show. We are doing the right thing. Once again, guys, we are here with Ken and Prabhath, and they're speaking about all these awesome cancer stories that are just inspiring and touching many people. And, you know, speaking on behalf of what you were just saying in regards to creating a legacy for the people who were not able to, you know, be here with us right now. What's an example? Do you have any stories?
Yeah, I do have some stories. So, well, I got present to that idea because recently a friend of mine who's also a physician at a different hospital talked to me about this 25-year-old patient with gastric cancer. And he had about probably a week to live. And he was like, hey, you know, what about your project? Here's this kid. Why don't you talk to him and cheer him up? And I'm thinking, oh my God. Well, and he gave me a phone number. He says, here, cheer this guy up. And I start to try to reach out to him multiple times, and I know he was very sick, but in my mind I was thinking, what did I say to this guy? What do you say to a 25-year-old kid who has gastric cancer and cannot live? What if I gave him purpose, or, you know, made him try to think about his purpose? He says, and he's thinking, I'm going to die in the next 5 days. Then I'm thinking this: if he's able to actually say what it is, like how his life would have been if he would have lived longer, and maybe, you know, forget about whatever his past said that he was, and say it resonated with somebody on the platform, and if that person takes that on, saying, hey, you know what, I'm kind of like that, that purpose is great, I'm going to take that on, and that purpose lives again. And so what I'd like to do now is, you know, as we collect stories, there'll be, you know, a certain selection of stories where we'll have people contribute what their legacy would have been. You know, this person that might have passed away. I just posted today on a good friend of mine, 39-year-old doctor who passed away from stage 4 colon cancer.
Is this Dr. Cyrus?
Dr. Cyrus, yeah.
So this was your good friend. This story is your personal story.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I read, that was one of the other stories that I read.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me about Mr. Cyrus. And he seemed like he was a great, inspiring person, man.
He's just a great, inspiring person.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew him at the age, you know, when I was 18 or so. He and his twin brother, Curtis, were really good friends, and they were these really playful twins, you know, and they would always mess around with people, saying that there's the same person who would like pop out of different rooms and saying, wait a minute, I was just standing over there, and, you know, this would be like their main pickup ploy. But that's how these guys were. They were just happy-go-lucky and just full of love. And he was a really goofy guy, and, you know, he's a physician too. And I think we resonate with each other because you know, you haven't been able to tell, I'm a little bit of a goofy guy too, and I'm a physician, that's okay. But he spent a year battling colon cancer, and despite feeling, you know, sick from his treatments, losing a lot of weight, eventually going on hospice, he never lost that I love everybody, I'm going to put other people first, you know. And the people that work with him most, they saw that, and they saw what he did and how he inspired other people. So what they did was they started their own legacy fund where they give a scholarship to residents who display that. You know, and very similarly, I have a vision for the Live Again Project doing the very similar thing for people who've passed. And what would be really cool is, let's just say you found somebody, and throughout his life he was known to be an a-hole or something like that. Dig into his life. Ask him what has happened maybe in his life that made him feel a certain way or appear a certain way to somebody. And if he didn't maybe have to go through certain things in his past, who would he have been if he just had love his entire life, and how would he have given back? And if you share that, and if that's a powerful story, again, I think this is a great platform for it, and I hope to be able to raise enough money to support nonprofits just like that, so that people's stories and their purpose will always live again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to say that their legacy will still be there. You know, like it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. We were speaking on the behalf of Tupac. Yeah. You know, he's been dead for how many years now, guys? But his legacy still lives on. So the fact of the matter is everybody deserves a legacy to live on as well.
Oh yeah.
We all deserve that. We all are equal beings, and we all have an equal purpose.
Yes.
You know, to bring to the table. So it's really cool to see that even if you did have a bad life, even if you went through a lot of stuff, you know, you can still, you know, there's a soft spot in there somewhere. Yeah. Somebody just didn't really take the time to crack it open. Like, and it's crazy because doctors, you guys get those personal stories from these people at their dying days on their beds, like. So they may never get a chance to even open that up to their own family members. No. You know.
I really hope that this gives people courage to step up, because as I'm asking, you know, some people to submit their stories because their stories are so powerful, it's comfortable to share with me, but it's very scary to put it out on a public platform.
Of course.
But I think if they do, they really become a bigger person themselves, because they're able to say something about putting, you know, handling their fear and throwing it out there. They become bigger as they become more vulnerable, and it allows somebody else to as well. So if you're out there and you're thinking about submitting a Live Again story, please do, because you don't know the amount of inspiration you have in that story.
And like just who may be listening.
Yeah.
Especially at this moment right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably one of my biggest inspirations. And the fact of the matter is, you never know what one simple conversation can do for somebody that day, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, today, this conversation I had with you and these amazing stories that you touched me and inspired me with. Like, I can go and, you know what, I'm going to go hang out with my mom today. Yeah. Just as the smallest things, though. It's the smallest things that make a difference.
It's a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect. And I believe in that solely. And the world is most definitely turning in your direction right now, Kian.
Well, I feel it. I'm starting to have goosebumps.
The fact that you just managed to Prabhath too, like, that is such a coincidence. You know, you're like heaven sent too, Prabhath. What is this?
Well, thank you. Well, you know, I feel like I have the luckiest life in the world. You know, like you've seen the Changemaker Center that I started with Andy Dick.
Yes.
Like the whole point of that place was, how do you highlight all the good happening in LA? So we're bringing all these celebrities in, and I was like, okay, the celebrities are the people everyone's going to come and see.
Big influencers.
But the reason why we created that space was for people like Kian, because we wanted people that are with these amazing ideas to walk in the door, meet another group of powerful people, and like Kian has met Justin Ballard, he met Alexia. It's like, you know, you're just meeting good people. Now he's met Amanda, so I guess there's a little trouble. But you know, it's like
a little spice is good in life.
A little spice is good for the salad. But I would say, like, it's just good when people meet good people.
Yes.
Because then you just step back and you're like, I don't need to deal with any of these people, because you just know what they're going to create is greater than what you would have done.
And it's so inspiring too. Like I said, you're creating a platform for myself nonetheless as well. You know, to really use my voice and be able to express it to other people and get that out from other people too, because there's so many people who do not want to share these things with you, and they're just hiding that in there, and it's just so sad. Society makes you feel like you cannot speak up for yourself or just be vulnerable. Yeah. But in reality, that's you being like true to your human self, man, down to the core. Like, like
chills. Seriously. Feel this.
Can
you feel this? Feel this.
I'm feeling
oh my God. Look at this.
There's laws against you stay in your own corner. You stay in your corner, buddy. But
goosebumps.
You know what I was thinking though, Amanda? Sort of since I talked to Kian about all this, like how superficial we are in society, right?
Seriously.
Like you know, does a person, what's their hair look like? What are they wearing? What's the makeup? Whatever, all that stuff, right? But the thing is, when somebody's in, because we've all dealt with knowing somebody that's been in a hospital, or somebody that's died. When somebody is dying in a hospital, you will see family members. They're not bathing for like 2 days, 3 days. They're in the same clothes. Nobody cares. Like you just go and you hug them. Like all the crazy like societal rules get thrown out the window. And I think that's what's beautiful about Live Again Project. It's really like, let's get to the real core of who we are. Where don't wait for the tragedy to happen to be your fullest person. Let's remember the stories of these terrible things that have happened to people and live in that like space of caring and loving and understanding and giving back. So
that's key. I mean, this year, I mean, I'm a physician, and I think throughout my life in the past 4 years, I was making a very good living. But to make a great life, It's not about making, it's about giving. And I am so present to that this year. So.
Ooh, I'm feeling it in here
Beautiful.
too, man. 2017 has some great things in store for you guys. I feel it already.
And for you, for us all.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Let the positivity run through and let us show it out to the world, guys. But lastly, I always like to ask my guests, what is the message you would like to leave with LA today, Mr. Kian?
LA, love.
Boom, drop the mic.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
That was it.
Mr. Prabhath, you did this last time for me, and
Yeah.
your message was great. What did you have to say to the world?
I'll just repeat it. No, I mean, I think my message is always look at opportunities to give back. And it's what you said before. Every person in front of you is an opportunity to be loving and give back and inspiring, or just be a listening ear. So, I think 2017, let's listen to everybody, hug it out with everybody, and help everybody become their ultimate fulfillment of themselves.
Awesome.
Go love or go home.
Hey, that's a new one. I like that.
All right.
Alrighty, so Live Again Project, where can we help out? Where can we donate? Where can we be a part of this cause?
All right, so everything's going to go through our website at www.liveagainproject.org. Once again, www.liveagainproject.org. If you want to submit a story, email us at mystory@liveagainproject.org. But you'll find you'll find outtakes, you'll find Live Again Project parties and everything we're doing on our Facebook page, and that's facebook.com, Live Again Proj. That's no ECT, that's Proj, Live Again Proj, facebook.com.
Oh, East Coast, West Coast over the name. It sounds like, Live Again Proj.
But if I wanted to just be a part of the cause and help you guys out, how could I do that?
Right, so we are going to have a launch party in February where we'll be asking for donations. There will be a donate portion of our site on the liveagainproject.org site. But if you just want to help out, if you want to just be a part of the story, honestly, we invite, just message us. And I've been meeting with people from all over have just come to the gallery and come over to my house. To share the space. And really, this is a project for everybody. It's not, so if you want to get involved, you're already in, just contact us. You could help out in tons of ways. You could deliver pictures. You can help with our site. This is really a grassroots type of effort here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And all you guys are doing is just sending that inspiration and love out. So we appreciate you guys to the fullest, man. Ken, Prabhath, it has been an honor. Thank you so much. Live Again Project. Once again, where can we find you guys?
www.liveagainproject.org.
Do not miss out, guys. Appreciate it. 935 KDAY doing the right thing, y'all. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah!
Yay! You did
All right.
good.
Let's see. Live Again Project. Gotta save it before I delete it. That would not be fun.
Yeah. Then we gotta start it all over.
Oh, yeah.
And then we gotta
You're still rolling on the live stream.
All right.
Oh, hey!
Uh-oh.
He's like, hello.
Yeah.
Just so you
People-
know.
We need more,
Put the
more of
beers away,
the
folks.
sex
Oh,
Beers
lady.
no.
away.
Oh, no.
Put the beers away.
Doesn't she look like Alicia Keys? Yes? No?
Oh, you're the best,
Oh
dude.
my God.
You made my day.
I
You made
know.
my year, actually.
Ooh.
Never had such a great compliment.
Look at that.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
Heart is
Awesome.
on fire.
That was great, guys.
What
Thank
is
you so
your
much.
message?
My message?
Yes.
My message to the world is be yourself.
Oh,
I really appreciate people who are themselves, and I feel like people are so scared to be themselves. But once you are your true self, like, possibilities are endless.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you.